Hi, welcome to all of you. I am Dr. Jayashila, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Aurad, District Bidar. Dear student, in this video I am going to discussing about the income tax. In that income tax, particularly I am going to solving the previous year question paper as per the Gulbarga University Kalburgi syllabus. So in this question paper you can see the three parts: section A, section B and section C. Section A belongs to the 2 marks question. He gives the 12 questions. Out of 12 questions you have to answer any 10 questions. So here each question carry 2 marks. In the section B there are 5 questions are there. Out of 5 questions you have to answer any 3 questions, each carry 5 marks. In the section B you will get the 15 marks. And in the section C there are 5 questions are there. Out of 5 questions you have to answer any 3 questions, each question carry 15 marks. Means here in the section C you will get the 45 marks. Dear student, in this video I am going to discussing only A and B sections, and C section I will continue on next video. So here in this video already I have said section A is there. The section A in the question paper like this: answer any 10 of the following questions, each carry 2 marks. So first question is like this: what do you mean by long term capital gain? He asked about the what is the long term capital gain. Like this, the answer is like this: any profit arising from transfer of long term capital assets are called long term capital gain. Here what he said means any benefit or profit arised from the transfer of the long term capital assets, that we can call here long term capital gain. Come to the second question: what do you mean by cost of acquisition? The answer is like this: cost of acquisition of an asset is the value for which it was acquired by the assessee. Means here assessee is the person who is acquiring the certain asset. That asset, then when he was acquiring the asset, on that time the valuation of the asset, the value of the particular asset itself we can call as a acquisition of cost of acquisition. Come to the third question: state any 2 examples of income taxable under the head of income from other sources. Here what he asked, give any 2 examples of taxable incomes under the head of income from other sources. Here there are two category we can classified here. Income taxable in particular under section 56 subsection 2 is there. In this section especially the best example of the taxable income from other sources is dividend, lotteries and charitables. Then second one is income taxable in general under section 56(1). So the best example is royalty, director fees. So come to the next question, the fourth question: what is the rate of tax deduction for winning from the lottery? Already everyone knows that this one is a very easy question for all of you. Winning from the lottery, winning from the puzzles and winning from the horse race, winning from other any games, the Government of India Department of Income Tax, it is decided the up to deduction of 30% from the these puzzles and lotteries. So your answer is 30%. So here come to the fifth question: what is Hindu undivided family? This is the one of the family which is situated in India as per the according to as per the Hindu law, or according to the Hindu law, HUF consists of all the persons linearly descended from a common ancestor including their wives and unmarried daughters. Only one member cannot form HUF. There must be at least two persons, whether male or female, to constitute the HUF. When the HUF is forming, here members are required. There are two or more members can form the HUF as per the Hindu law. Come to the next question. Here this question is very easy. Anybody can write within a 30 seconds only, not 1 minute also. So what is the question is like, who is Karta? So it is very easy question. Answer is like this: the person who managed the affairs of HUF, means Hindu undivided family or family, is known as a Karta. Here Karta is a person who is the head of the family, who is managed the affairs of the HUF, is known as a Karta. Come to the next question, seventh question. How do you treat salary paid by HUF to its Karta or any members? So here how do you treat it here as per the income tax law? So answer is like this: any salary paid to the Karta and other member of the family for service rendered in conducting family business allowed under the deduction head in income tax, income from other sources. So this income, when the member of the family or a Karta who is rendering the service and receiving the sum of the benefit or income or salary, that should be taken in the deduction under the head of income from the other sources. Come to the next question. That one is the eighth one. So everyone knows that this one is also very easy question. In the accounting also the same question they may ask. Here in the income tax also this is the one of the question. The eighth question is, what is partnership? Who is working partner? Everyone knows that, but here answer is like this: partnership means relationship between two or more have agreed to share profit of business carried on by all or any of them acting for all is called as a partner. So if in case all the partners are working or some of the partners behalf of the all partners they are working, that we can call as a partner. Means here the relationship between the partners is and agreement between the partners is very important here. Then here working partner means the partner who is actively engaged in conducting the affairs of business of firm. Any person who is actively engaged and conducting the certain business affairs of the firm, that person we can call here working partner. Next question, this one is also very easy question. What is a book profit? So here the question is, what is a book profit? The answer is like this: book profit means net profit shown in the profit and loss account. Net profit is nothing but a book profit. It is shown in the profit and loss account debit side. Next one is here 10th question. Give the meaning of set of losses. This one is also very easy question. Give the meaning of set of losses. Here answer is, set of losses means adjusting losses against income. So that we can call as a set of losses. Next 11th question. What is business return? Here 11th question is, what is business return? So answer is like this: if any person who have sustained a losses in any previous year and claims that such losses should be carry forwarded shall furnish us a return of losses which the due date is the prescribed form. So that we can call as a balance returned. So last question is there here, the 12th one. What is the non-taxable limit for individual aged 50 years. As per the income tax law, up to 60 years certain limit is there, income taxable limit is there. After the 60 years, 60 to 80 and 80 to 80 and above, there are 3 clauses are there here. Here in this question he asked about non-taxable means exempted or nil taxable limit of individual, means any SSC individual aged, his age is 50 years. The answer is very easy. 0 to 2.5 is nil, means the taxable limit is 0 up to 2.2 lakh 50,000. So these are the section A questions and answers. Let us come to the section B. Here in this part there are 5 questions are there. Out of 5 questions we have to write any 3 answers, 3 questions answers. So here question number 13 is like this. The following information of Mr. Ravi, compute the taxable capital gain for assessment year 2015-16. So I have taken the question paper of 2016, means here the assessment year is 2015-16. So next one, number 1, cost of acquisition of residential house is given on 1981-82 rupees 6 lakh and sales proceeds on 1st August 2014 is there 66 lakh 52,000. Cost of new house purchased for residential purpose of rupees 2 lakh 50,000 is given. And 4th one, the amount deposited in capital gain account scheme rupees 50,000. And here given the cost of inflation index in 1981-82, that was 100, and in the 2014-15 were 1024. This is your given question. So as per this question you have to solve or you have to compute the taxable capital gain for the assessment year 15-16. Let us solve this question. Here solution is there. Computation of taxable capital gain of Mr. Ravi for the assessment year 2014-15. So here come to this, as per this table we can take here sales proceeds of residential house is given in the question, that is 66 lakh 52,000. You should minus indexed cost of acquisition. This one is also given in the question. As per the indexed cost of acquisition, here 6 lakh is given as a, what is that? It is a cost of acquisition of residential house, and into this one is current year, means as per the 2016 the current year is assessment year is 15-16, that the influence cost of index is 1024 and divided by 100 means here purchasing year. Purchasing year, what is the influence cost of index is here given in the question. You see in this slide 1981-82, that was 100. So you take that one. So your amount is 61 lakh 44,000. You minus on the 66 lakh 52,000. So your long term capital gain is 5 lakh 8,000. So this one is your long term capital gain. On that you should minus the exemption under section 54. Under section 54, the first one is cost of new residential house purchased. It is given in the question rupees 2,50,000 and amount deposited in the bank, that one is 50,000. Total amount is 3 lakh. These 3 lakhs comes under the exemption of under section 54 as per the income tax law. So here you minus the 3 lakh on 5 lakh 8,000. Your taxable capital gain is 2 lakh 8,000. This is your answer. So come to the next question. Question number 14. Question is like this. From the following details of Guru Prasad, compute his income from the other sources for the assessment year 2015-16. The question you should be see here carefully. First one, family pension is given rupees 48,000. Winning from the lottery is given 1,12,000. Royalty income is also given here 32,800. In the bracket you can see here manuscript expenses are there rupees 1,400. Then fourth one is income from agricultural in England is there rupees 40,000. Director's fees is given rupees 12,000. As per this information, what he said means compute his income from the other sources for the assessment year 2015-16. Let us solve this question. Here answer is like this. See in this table, question solution 14, computation of income from other sources for the assessment year 2015-16. So first I have taken here as per the given format. Family pension, that is in a 48,000 less deductions is there under section 57. That is 1/3 of the 48,000. It comes the 16,000 or minimum rate is decided as per the income tax law, that is in a 15,000. Among these two, whichever is less, that one we can take here, deduct here under section 57. So here among these two is 15 is lower than the 16. So 15,000 we can minus here under section 57. So your answer is 33,000. Take it as a outer column. Second one is winning from the lottery. In the question he has given the net amount. You should gross up on that amount. Already in the theoretical background or 2 marks question he has given one question. The rate of deduction of winning from the lottery is, that is in a 30%. So here when we are grossing up means the net amount is given here 1,12,000. When we are grossing means into 100 divided by 70. So here amount is, what is the gross amount of the winning from the lottery is 1,60,000. Take it directly in the outer column. Third one is royalty income is there given in the question itself only 32,800. So less manuscript expenses are there 1,400. You take the outer column as a 31,400. Then fourth one is income from the agricultural in England. If in the question income from the agricultural in India is there, so here that is not a taxable amount. Here in the question itself is given income from the agricultural in England is there, that is in a taxable amount of rupees 40,000. Next one is director fees are there, that is given in the question rupees 12,000. So all you should be add here. Your income from the other sources is 2,76,400. This we can call as a income from the other sources. So here come to the next question. That one is the 15th one. This one is also under the section of B. So question number 15. Mr. Mahesh provided the following information for previous year 2014-15. So here previous year is 14-15, current year means assessment year is 15, 16. So here number 1, income from the salary is given rupees 3,50,000. Income from the house property, that is also given rupees 50,000. Long term capital gain rupees 2 lakh. During the year he donated rupees 20,000 to the Prime Minister National Relief Fund. This one is also this information is given. So what he said, compute the taxable liability of Mr. Mahesh for the assessment year 15, 16. What he said here, compute the taxable compute the tax liability of Mr. Mahesh for the assessment year 2015-16. Come to the solution here. As per the given prescribed format only I have taken here as per the income tax law. So solution is computation of taxable liability of Mr. Mahesh for the assessment year 2015-16. First you have to take the income from the salary. This one is given in the question, rupees 3,50,000. Second one, income from the house property, it is also given in the question, rupees 50,000. Third one, long term capital gain, that is 2 lakh is there. So total amount is 6 lakh. This 6 lakh we can call as a gross total income. After this, less deduction under section 80G. Under the 80G, this deduction comes here. First one is Prime Minister National Relief Fund. This one given in the question itself only, rupees 20,000. So here tax liability of Mr. Mahesh is rupees 5,80,000. This amount we can call as a total income. Come to the next question, that is a question, so let us continue this question only. We have taken here, we found here total income of Mr. Mahesh. Let us continue here. Income tax on total income. As per that basis, we can continue net tax liability of Mr. Mahesh. We can solve here. So you should take on total income of excluding long term capital gain, means here total income is 5,80,000 minus 2 lakh equals to 3,80,000. On first of all we can deduct up to 0 to 2.5 is exemption. The after that only it is a taxable. On next is that is a 1,30,000. That 1,30,000 taken here as a 10% as per that rule, and 10% is rupees 13,000. And second B, that is on the long term capital gain, you can take the 2 lakh at rate of 20%. In second step it is a 20%. 20% means amount that is 40,000. So you should total this amount 53,000 income tax on totable income. So total income. So this is 53,000. Add educational cess is there. On that period 15-16 it is an educational cess 2%. On the 53,000 is 1,060. And secondary education cess is there, that is an 1%, 530. So the total amount is 1,590. So you add on the 53,000 rupees. The net tax liability of Mr. Mahesh is 54,590. So in this current year, as per the 2019-20, the educational cess is increased. Now the educational cess is 4%. So come to the next question. Here this one is the theoretical question is there. All the 3 questions are given as a practical question, and this one is 16th question is a theoretical question. So question here like this: what are the income tax provisions relating to the set off and carry forward of losses under the head of capital gain? So answer is like this: capital gain and set of carry forwarded provisions are there. Number 1, any short term capital loss can be set off against the other short term capital gain or long term capital gain. Second one is any long term capital loss can be set off against other long term capital gain. The third one is here any losses under the head of capital gain can't be set off against the income from the other sources. The fourth one is unabsorbed short term capital losses of current year can be carries forwarded to next assessment year. The assessment year maximum limit is 8 years to be set off against the short term capital gain or long term capital gain. Here maximum limit of year is 8 years. Next one, fifth one, unabsorbed long term capital losses of current year can be carries forwarded to next assessment year maximum 8 years to be set off against the long term capital gain. This the 16th question answer is there. Let us come to the question number 17. So here what in the last video I already explained about the PAN and model of the PAN, types of the PAN and what are the characters are involved in the PAN. So here also he asked the question about the PAN only. Question number 17. State the persons who are acquired to obtain the PAN. This is your question is there. The answer is like this. The following are the person who are required to obtain the permanent account number. PAN means permanent account number. So number 1, every person whose total income accessible during the previous year exceeding maximum amount which not chargeable to tax is required to apply on before 31st May of the relevant assessment year. The any person who is getting the income up to 2.5 is exemption. As per the assessment year, 2,50,000 is exemption. More than 2,50,000 if he is getting the income during the previous year, then here tax PAN is required. Next, second one, during the person carrying on business or profession whose turnover or gross receipt exceeding 5 lakh in any previous year is required to apply before the end of the accounting year. If the any person he is doing the business or he is running the business or professions and he is getting the gross profit or gross receipt, it is not exceeding the 5 lakh. If it is exceeding the 5 lakh in the prescribed previous year, he must be apply for the PAN before the accounting year. Second one. Then third one is any person who is required to furnish a refund of income under section 139 subsection 4A means charitable trust, it required to apply before the end of the previous year. Means here any person who is required means the PAN is required means he must be refund the income, he must be return file under section 139 subsection 4A. It is relating to the charitable trust. So fourth one is employer who is required to furnish a return of foreign benefits under section 150. That is a withdrawn amount should be there as per the income tax rules. So here last one is any person registered under the control Sales Tax Act or General Sales Tax Law, exports and imports required to obtain import-export code, service taxes, SSC, service tax assessee. These are all the points of what is the required for obtain the PAN. So this one is the what is the section B is completed. So in the section C I will continue in next video. Thank you. Thanks.